Yo, welcome back to the channel. So we are on the shop refit, should we say? Shop refurb. That's kind of the job. So today we're going to give you a little bit of a recap of where we're at right now, because I haven't recorded the last few days. We've been very, very busy. And you might have noticed that these big old steels are all in. So I'll explain how we got those in, ish.
Not too much.
Yeah, in vague detail. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do so. And then I'm going to go through all the different jobs that what Steve's doing, what Lou's doing, and then what I'm going to be doing. Okay, so as you can see, these massive, massive steels are in. Okay, they're absolutely ginormous. So we managed to get those in, and they are, what was the weight on that top one?
750.
Yeah, about 750 kilos, something like that. The side ones, can you remember what they were? These, yeah, about 400 kilos, the other ones, so these two side ones. So we've managed to get those in, but as you've seen, if you've watched the previous videos, we've had some other complications, where we've had two pipes and stuff that go through here, which we actually thought were drainage, but turns out they're not. So it meant that we've had to dig down deeper than what we actually originally planned for, and obviously make the steels even bigger. So we've got those in, so it's all reinforced now, all back to where it is, and it's nice for us to get back onto a level ground, which has been a bit soul destroying, a digging. We had nearly a week's worth of digging, Steve, something like that, weren't it? Roughly, something like that. So the jobs for today, because obviously we've got, you know, if you watched other videos. So the jobs for today is Lou's going to be getting on with blocking these all back up, get them all the way back up to the top, that side and this side. So we're going to get on with those to block all those back in. So Steve is going to be getting on with getting all the noggins in for all the steel that's going across here. Ready for plasterboards to be going on. We need to get all those sorted, and yes, they're going to be fire plasterboards going on, or pink boards. So, and what I'm going to be getting on with is getting on with all the first fix electrics today. I'm not going to be doing the plumbing today, so I'm just not going to get a chance. So for me, there's a consumer unit down there, that's going, and we're actually going to be using the consumer unit we're going to be putting a new one in, is actually in the other side of the shop. So I better get myself sorted, let the lads crack on, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Okay, so what we've got already, I've made myself a bit of a list for all the circuits and stuff I need to get all sorted and rattled through. So my board is literally just here. I've already fixed on, so from that line all the way through, all the way across the ceiling, a load of these fittings. So using the spit nailer, I've got all those all sorted. There's occasional zip tie in at the minute just to hold them all in place, and then once I've got all my cable runs in properly, what I'm going to do then is use a bit of banding strap, obviously, to give me my like fire regs strapping and things like that. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get cracking. I'm going to set you up on time lapse while I can get some of these cables rattled through, because believe it or not, it's taken ages to get this to this far. Okay, so we've got some of the cables in now. We're using LSF cable because obviously it's commercial. So it's a little bit more tricky to use and work around, but it's actually a better job, and it's the right thing to do in this shop. So like I say, above me here, I've put a couple of zip ties on just so I can get all of the cables sort of ran across. So what I've got right now, so just to my left here, we've got the counters going in here. So it needs 3 independent supplies apparently. So they've gone over. There's obviously the suspended ceiling's going to be coming down quite low as well. So I'm allowing for that, but obviously I need to make sure that all my stuff's all nice and neat before the people who do the suspended ceilings, before they come in, and do all their stuff. So I need to get all my bits and bobs in there. But there will be various drops hanging down for the lights, because they're going to have either 600 by 600 or I think they're 6 by 12 light panels going in all the way through, except for the bit where Lou is down there. That ceiling is all concrete, and because it's quite low, they've decided now to have some surface mounted lights on there. We're going to have to run in a little bit of conduit, something like that. But yeah, so we thought we'd leave that like that, and then once I've got all my main cables in, I can then zip tie and tie them all up. The other thing is we've got some fridges and freezers, massive things going in. So I need all, again, independent supplies, all going to be supplied by RCBOs on there, because we want to make sure that if one goes down, it doesn't affect all the others. So I need 3 supplies, so one here, either side of that post to my left, and then there's one on this wall just round the corner that needs to go in. But obviously we need to leave a coil apparently long enough, because the fridges themselves are essentially just plugged in, and they are going to be plugged in above the ceiling tiles apparently. But like I say, I've not had that much information other than that. So yeah, so Lou is cracking on now, getting up to where he needs to hop up now behind me. So Steve's got this all packed out and stuff now. So yeah, so getting there. But obviously I'm just trying to, as I'm doing these things, like I say, that's one of the things I like about a list. I know it's on a bit of 3x2, but I like a list because obviously I can just go, yeah, bang, straight off. So I've got roller shutter supplies as well that need to go in, so they're all being taken care of. But yeah, so lots to do. I thought I'd just give you a bit of an update of where we're at right now, and better get cracking. Okay, so we're up to this corner now, so I need to basically coil a cable up here, and then one's going to be coming like on this side here. So what I'm going to use is those and the old spit nailer. Okay, so what we're going to do, so there's like a little tab inside there that basically you put your gun into, and then you just fire them on. Okay, once you've done those, for now, like I say, just putting a few zip ties in, just to keep it all in relative place and position, really. Okay, and when they're all zip tied up, they'll all be neat and up and out the way. The other thing we're doing for testing wise is that we're labelling up every single one on there. So I've got the drums on the other side on there, and I've labelled 1 and 2, so just so I know each end, so I can write on here that will be fridge 1, fridge 2. Simple as that, and it just makes life a lot easier when we're coming to do all the testing. Yeah, so that's basically where we're at that stage. Okay, so Lou's just going to be using the spit nailers. Earlier on I said about how noisy is he? Honestly. Keep going, mate, it's alright, just filming here.
Some of us got work to do, you know.
Muppet. So we're going to use the spit nailer. Well, Lou's going to use it. We said earlier on about how good it is and versatile it is. So he's going to be fixing on these brackets onto the steel with that bad boy. Are you liking that, Lou?
Yeah, it's easier than putting it all like that.
Bit easier, isn't it? So that on there, if I can show you that. So it basically puts in, it has the power of it, it sort of welds itself in. Yeah, so very, very good bit of kit. So with all this awesome work that we're doing, I bet you're thinking, how do we do it? Well, it's simple really. We use Tradeify. It's our job management software. So what is Tradeify? It's a job management software that's completely free to try for 14 days. And if you like it, use the promo code GHAWK50. You get 50% off for the first 3 months. I know what you're thinking. So if you try it and you don't like it, are you going to be tied into a subscription? No, you're not. You're not tied into a subscription. That's why it's completely free. You don't put any bank details in. Don't do any of that. And also, one thing that I do really like about Tradeify is they're constantly trying to improve their own system. They send you loads of updates, get it all sorted for you. So if you're struggling and you're not exactly the best with computers like our Sean is, you can ring them up, they will sort you out. The customer care service is brilliant. Like I say, we run the whole company through it, from absolutely everything, from invoicing, quoting, estimating, job management, you name it, it does it. Go and give them a try, you won't be disappointed. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is we're going to chase a little bit of the very top off, sort of that sort of section. Now, we are planning, he's banging again, isn't he? He's banging again, look, he's laughing. Right, so, carry on. It's all right, mate. Carry on, yeah, wait till I talk. So the rest of that wall, as you can see, is not that good anyway. So it is down to be chased off, but we're just waiting for that to be authorised as such. So I'm going to take the top layer off, so some of it might just fall off because the wall's pretty knackered anyway. So I'm going to get that bit chased off, and then I can get my fixings on along the top, ready for my cables. And then there's a cold water feed that needs to go down that way. So that's what I'm up to now. Okay, so where we're at right now, we are got the cables back to this bit. Okay, so the cables are going to be all the light switches here. We're going to put a grid switch in. So grid switch is going to be going in, control the majority of the lights from this point. We're also putting in a two-way, which is actually going to be right down the front end of the shop, because we need all that. So once all that bit's all sorted, I'm then going to start running backwards, tidying all the cables up as we go, trying to get them all zip tied up nice and neat. Then I'm going to use some banding strap once I know everything's in place in the right area, so I can get my fire eggs and stuff, all that covered. Just doing the emergency lighting, because obviously we need to make sure that we've got emergency lights in here. So Lou's getting on with that wall right there, so he's getting on with that bit. He's also completed the other one, which you've seen. So where I'm at right now is this two-way light here. We've got to move that all the way down to the light switch. Basically, we're going to put it by the side of the door, but at a higher level, so kids don't come in and mess about with it. So yeah, so I've got the cables through, so all in this bit. We're gonna have to neaten all that lot up, get that all nice and neat and tidy. But this bit in here, this area here is a little bit weird because I don't know exactly whether the ceiling heights, how all that's gonna work, all that sort of jazz. It is a little bit strange, but it might all be in conduit on that bit. I don't know. We just don't know at the minute. It's too many unknowns. But yeah, just thought I would let you know exactly where we're at right now. Again, this wall here. So this wall here, it is supposed to be coming off all the plaster because it's pretty much falling off, as you've seen. But again, we're not been sort of signed off on that, so we're not doing that just yet. But we are going to sort of. Someone's going to have to do it, so that's why I've just pinned those at the top, ready to go. Okay, so we've got pretty much the end of the day now, so we're just having a bit of a square up. So we just brought in a load of plasterboards and stuff over there from out of Steve's van, because he went and gone and fetched those earlier on. So cables for me, cables are all pretty much in. So we've had a bit of a tidy up with those. Started zip tying all the way back. So I've got my emergency lights drops on, so they're all on up here. Like I say, there is a suspended ceiling coming in, so obviously I need to get them in sort of place. So I've got front lights, middle lights, and then obviously the back lights as well. So with the cables now, they're all zip tied all the way along. And then we've got them down at that end. We've got it to roughly where that box in here is in the corner. So we've got that bit to there, all zip tied and taken care of. And then the next thing for me is to work my way back. But like I say, I can't do too much down on that back wall over there because we've got, and so we don't know what's happening with all the plastering as such on there. And then what I'm going to then do is make up a load of banding strap brackets as such, so using the old banding strap on there, and secure that along its run all the way down, all these cables all the way down on the run, so that way that obviously in a fire situation they're going to be pinned with the nailer right directly to the concrete. So obviously for that reason it's not going to be causing any issues in case of a fire. It's not going to drop down. So yeah, so Lou is just got to this height at the minute on there, so he's got up to there, so he's got probably 5 courses left to do on that bit. So yeah, been a productive day. Happy with where I'm at. I think the lads are happy where they've got as well. So yeah, so if you've enjoyed it and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do so. It does help the channel to grow, allows me to make more content, and yeah, and invest more in more stuff. So like I say, thanks for watching, take care, see you soon.